Quill is a document editing system that allows users to interact with their documents either in terms of the physical appearance of the document or in terms of its logical structure. I'm going to demonstrate Quill for you by using the system to make a foil about Quill itself. I'll begin the session by expanding this icon and calling for a menu of valid objects like examples and headings. I'll choose a heading, and the properties of the object that I chose will be effective as I type. Now I'm going to call for some other objects in the document. I'll choose a paragraph. Now I'm going to put inside the paragraph a bulleted list with some items in it. And a second item. Inside the second item comes a sub-list, and this time I'm going to number the items of the list. Now I can click on different parts of this document, like the heading, or the paragraph, or an item of a list, and I can look in the logical display and do the same thing. I can navigate by touching an item or even the space between two items. Now I'm going to go to the end of the document, and at this place I'll call for a figure containing a graphic frame. I'll stretch the size of the frame to represent the size of the picture that I want to draw. And now inside the frame, I'm going to use the commands of the graphic editor to create things like circles, and I'll put some of these graphic objects together to make a little happy face. It's made out of circles and pieces of line segments, and two small circles for the pupils of his eyes. Now the system allows me to group several graphic objects together by touching them, and as the objects turn red to show that they're selected and made part of the group, now I can operate on the group as a whole, moving it around or making a copy of it or even mirroring it in a vertical mirror so the face looks the other way. Now my new face I can move around, or I'll delete it to get it out of the way. Now I'd like to put some text labels on my graphic picture. I'm going to begin by labeling this happy face as a happy user of Quill. Now that text label can behave like text, or the graphic editor can pick it up and make it behave like a graphic object. And once again, if I click on it again, I can go back and edit it in text form, and it doesn't lose its character as a graphic object. It has a dual nature for both text and graphics. Now I'm going to put a more elaborate piece of text inside this picture and use some tags along the way. Now inside this annotation, I'm going to make a numbered list, the same way I did before. I'll use the same tags and the same keystrokes to list some of the graphic objects that are implemented by the Quill graphic editor. I'm going to show you how I can put actually a little example of those graphic objects on each one of these lines, and that'll represent another level of nesting of the picture. In order to do that, I'm going to zoom in to triple size, and on the line that says circles, I'm going to create a little graphic frame and draw an example of a circle right in that frame. Now the text editor thinks that that frame is a letter, so if I type characters ahead of it, it'll push it along the line just like a letter. On this line I'm going to put a graphic frame containing a polyline that looks like a little star. And on this line, I'm going to put a graphic frame containing an image. And this image comes from a file that was previously scanned. And the image, like any other graphic object, can be moved around inside its frame, and it's clipped by the boundaries of the frame. Now I think we can see the 4 levels of this document. There's the little graphic objects inside their individual frames. If I go up a level, I'm back in text, and the text editor treats those little frames like letters. If I go up another level, I'm talking to the graphic editor, who can drag around this whole frame, including text and nested graphics inside it. And at that level, I think I'll also draw a rectangle border around the whole picture so that we can see it when we go up to the final level, which is the text again. And I'll ask the text editor to put a caption under this figure. He automatically numbers the figure, and I'll type the contents of the caption. Now we have basically a 4-level document here. Text inside graphics, inside text, inside graphics. I want to show you how the commands of the editors span across these levels. I'm going to invoke the find text command and ask the text editor to search for the word graphic, insensitive to case, and as we see, it'll find graphic outside the picture, as well as inside the picture, and as well as in the figure caption. Now I think I'll ask the text editor to replace all of those instances of the word graphic with the word picture, wherever they're found in the document. And as you see, all 3 examples of the word graphic are replaced, both inside the picture and outside. Another kind of command that works across levels of the document are the cut and paste commands. I'll mark this logical object, which is an item in the list inside my picture, and copy it to an invisible clipboard. And then I will go stand at another place in the document where an item could be, and paste the contents of the clipboard to that place. Now, the logical list item moved from inside the picture to outside the picture, and it brought its nested graphic object along with it. Another thing I can do is to override the appearance of the logical objects. The appearance is taken from a style definition that's outside the document, but I can call up the appearance of this paragraph, for example, in the form of a property sheet. This property sheet controls the appearance of the paragraph. As we see, italics is turned off, but I'm going to override that appearance by turning italics on and applying it to this paragraph. Now, as you can see, the paragraph and all of the lists and items that are nested inside it turn into italics. Now, this document is being controlled by the foils style definition, but I can change my style definition in the middle of a session if I like to. I think I'll change this document to be a report. That'll cause the whole thing to be reformatted with different formatting rules and different fonts. And as you can see, the paragraph is not in italics in the report style because the override that I applied doesn't apply to reports. Now I'm going to change this document back into a foil again, and I'm going to save the foil that I've made in the form of a PostScript file. PostScript is a page description language that I can send to my printer to get a printed copy of this page. And to show you how I do that, I'm going to collapse Quill into a little icon and call up my host terminal and ask it to upload the PostScript file that I just made. That file is being uploaded from my workstation to the host system now, where I can direct that it be sent to the PostScript printer that's attached to the host machine. Now, I have previously sent this PostScript file to a PostScript printer, and here's my output. I can hold it up alongside the image that you see on the screen, and as you see, the screen gives you a faithful reproduction of the fonts and the line breaks and all of the other features, just as the output is going to look when it comes from the printer. Now, I've tried to demonstrate 2 important features of Quill for you today. The first is that Quill allows you to interact with the objects in your document at a logical level. You call for headings and lists and paragraphs, and the appearance of those things is derived from an external style definition. And in fact, you can reformat your document against different style definitions for different purposes if you need to. Second thing is that Quill is not just an editor, it's a family of editors. We have editors for text and graphics, and we're adding more. These editors allow their objects to be nested inside each other to any number of levels. And the commands and the formatting algorithms of the different editors apply to their objects regardless at what level they're found, and many of these commands can even span across more than one level. So we hope with Quill we're going to combine the user friendliness of a WYSIWYG system with the formatting features of a powerful markup language. Thanks for watching.